Hello, guys. So this week's article is called "Eating Grilled Meat Increases Risk of Alzheimer's and Diabetes." And this article pretty much talks about how if you eat meat, which is especially heat processed meat, they increase chance of Alzheimer's and diabetes. And the cause of this is the following. I'm going to talk about it. So what happens is when you have a heat processed meat, uh, it has a lot of compound, which is called advanced glycation endoproduct (AGE), and naturally we all have AGE, but in low levels. But if we increase AGE levels by consuming heat processed meats in high quantities, that can cause problem because it can cause Alzheimer's and diabetes. And that's why the Western population tends to have more of Alzheimer's and diabetes. Now, for example, here in Japan, right, the rate of obtaining those diseases is much less. Why? Because the food is well balanced with everything else. Therefore, there are less chance of developing Alzheimer's and diabetes and actually any other disease because Japan's food, is it's very healthy and it's well balanced. So what happens is that AGE suppresses this compound chemical in our brains known as SIRT1, which regulates brain function and our immune system and controls metabolic diseases, right? But then when AGE suppresses that, then there is no protection against immune system. No protection for no help for immune system, and metabolic diseases cannot be prevented that easily, and our brain function is also messed up. So what they did was, oh yeah, they proved this through mice. By the way, they tested on mice, and they proved this. They had some mice. They injected some mice with high levels of EGE, and others which didn't, and that's how they proved this. And then what they did was they had two groups of individuals of people of over 60. Okay, and some of them had high levels of AGE while others had low levels of AGE, and what they found out is that people who had high levels of AGE also developed high levels of amyloid beta protein plaques. And as we have already discussed a million times in this playlist, amyloid beta protein plaques are one of the biggest direct causes of Alzheimer's. So, and people who didn't have a lot of AGE, they didn't develop those plaques, and their cognitive decline was much slower than the people who had AGE in their brains. And what this article ends off with is that it's not about just the food we eat. It's just not about the meat. But it's also about the way it's cooked, right? What they recommend is that at low heat and a lot of water is the way to cook it, and not just grilling it. And that really makes sense. Like again, we're going back in Japan, right? When meat is cooked, there's a very famous dish here called shabu shabu, and you pretty much boil your meat. That's all you do, and you eat it, right? And it tastes amazing. Let me tell you that it's great. So pretty much, yeah, I'm getting hungry again. But pretty much, what we're talking about here is that first of all, avoid eating too much meat, and secondly, cook it at low temperature and a lot of water. That's the way to go. Again, of course, more research has to be done because we see correlations and connections, but we don't really know exact causes. Thank you very much.